Let's talk about cars. Specifically, the ones we like to buy from other countries. You know, those sleek, stylish models that catch our eye and make us dream of open roads. You see, our man in the White House, the tweeter-in-chief himself, decided to slap a hefty 25% tariff on those bad boys. Yep, you heard that right. That's right, imported cars and certain parts just got a whole lot more expensive. Suddenly that dream car might be slipping out of reach. Now I know what you're thinking, John, tariffs are good, right? They protect our economy, don't they? Protecting American jobs and all that jazz? Keeping our factories humming and our workers busy? Well, hold on to your hats, folks, because this is where things get interesting. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. You see, this whole tariff thing isn't as simple as it sounds. It's a tangled web of economic consequences. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet with a sledgehammer. You might stop the leak, but you're going to cause a whole lot of other damage in the process. And that damage can be far-reaching. And believe me, the damage in this case could be huge. We're talking about ripples that could turn into waves. Economists are warning about job losses, higher prices for consumers, and a strain on household budgets, and even a full-blown trade war. Countries retaliating, tensions rising, and global markets shaking. But hey, who needs affordable cars and international cooperation when we can have... Well, I'm not quite sure what we get out of this, but I'm sure it's something great, right? Maybe a lesson in economic complexities? Now you might think that our closest allies would be on board with this whole tariff thing. After all, we're all buddies here, right? Wrong. Germany, the land of beer, pretzels, and high-quality automobiles, was not too pleased with Trump's announcement. Their leaders were quick to point out that this tariff could seriously harm the global economy, and they weren't afraid to say it loud and clear. Canada, our friendly neighbors to the north, were also caught in the crossfire. Prime Minister Mark Carney called the tariffs unacceptable and vowed to retaliate with tariffs of their own. Things are about to get a whole lot more awkward at the next G7 summit. The European Union, that bastion of bureaucracy and delicious pastries, is not just about rules and regulations, it's also about unity and standing up for its members. The EU was up in arms about the tariffs. Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, called Trump's move unjustified and incompatible with World Trade Organization rules. She emphasized that such actions could not go unanswered. And you know what happens when you break the WTO rules? That's right, you get hit with a strongly worded letter. But it's not just any letter, it's a formal complaint that can lead to serious consequences. Okay, maybe it's more than just a letter. It's a legal battle that can drag on for years, affecting international relations and trade. The EU is also considering retaliatory tariffs on a whole bunch of American goods. This means higher prices for consumers and strained relations between the two economic giants. So much for that whole special relationship thing. The transatlantic bond is being tested like never before. Even the UK, our old chum across the pond, wasn't immune to the tariff madness. Despite Brexit, the UK still found itself entangled in this global trade war. Prime Minister Keir Starmer, known for his, let's call it, unique approach to diplomacy, tried to secure exemptions for British car makers. He argued that the tariffs would hurt both economies. But alas, it was all for naught. The negotiations failed, and the tariffs were set to hit hard. The tariffs were coming, and there was nothing anyone could do to stop them. The global trade landscape was about to change, and everyone had to brace for impact. The price of protectionism. So, what does all this mean for us regular folks? Well, it means a lot of changes are coming our way, and not necessarily for the better. For starters, get ready to pay more for your next car. The days of affordable vehicles might be behind us. Those shiny new imports are about to get a whole lot more expensive. The tariffs are driving up costs, and those costs are being passed on to us, the consumers. And if you're in the market for a used car, forget about it. The prices for used cars are also expected to rise significantly. Prices are expected to skyrocket as demand for cheaper alternatives outstrips supply. The market is going to be tough for anyone looking for a deal. But it's not just car prices that are going up. Everyday items like groceries are also seeing a hike in prices due to increased transportation costs. The tariffs are also expected to lead to job losses in the auto industry as companies struggle to cope with the increased costs. This could mean fewer jobs and more economic instability. As companies struggle to cope with the increased costs, many workers are left uncertain about their future. And don't even get me started on the impact on insurance rates. Higher car prices mean higher insurance premiums. It's enough to make you want to ditch your car altogether and take up cycling. More people might turn to bikes as a more affordable mode of transportation. Just make sure you wear a helmet, because safety should always come first. Because things are about to get bumpy. The road ahead is uncertain, and we all need to be prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. The looming trade war. So there you have it, folks, the Trump administration's grand experiment in protectionism. Whether it will achieve its stated goals of protecting American jobs and boosting the economy remains to be seen. But one thing's for sure, this whole tariff thing has the potential to blow up in our faces big time. We're talking about a full-blown trade war, with countries around the world slapping tariffs on each other's goods and services. And who knows what the consequences of that will be. One thing's for sure, it's not going to be pretty. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're in for a wild ride.